For me, this was my chance to create a true Christmas perennial.
Eloise was a huge part of my youth. In my house, one of our Christmas Eve traditions was always to read Eloise at Christmastime.
There's wonderful scenes in New York and Toys R Us and Carriage, all the way down Fifth Avenue and things like that.
New York is Christmas. I mean, it really is what we think of Christmas as.
The idea of being involved in a movie about a book rich in a character like Eloise, especially at Christmas time, was kind of a dream come true.
I think it's maybe even more fun than the first one. Eloise at Christmastime has got the added element of having Christmas as a background, which is great fun because everybody gets festive, and Nanny has a couple too many eggnogs, and Eloise is excited. Her mother's supposed to be coming in. Nanny takes her Christmas shopping, and there's some sweet moments of dancing and singing, but it's all about the festivities.
Wake up, wake up, wake up! It's Christmas Eve!
If you actually look at the Christmas book, it's really more about, isn't Christmas wonderful? And it goes into all the little details about what's so wonderful about Christmas. It's not really dense in plot.
One of the biggest challenges of Eloise at Christmastime was coming up with a story, because as wonderful as the book is and the illustrations are, it's really more sort of a series of vignettes. So basically it was coming up with a plot that not only centered around Christmas, but incorporated all those wonderful character quirks and turning this sort of caricature into a living, breathing 6-year-old. And the bottom line is, as crazy as Eloise is, her heart is in the right place. Her matchmaking, her fighting what she perceives to be any injustice in the world.
And I think what she came up with Bill and Rachel and, it being a Christmas wedding and it having a sense of climax at the end that bursts with joy in the way that you feel about Christmas, was wonderful.
See, it's not the presents that come wrapped in ribbons and bows that count, as much as the ones that come from here.
A lot of those scenes between her and Nanny, I just think were done so beautifully to show that this was a real child who, really felt things.
If she doesn't make it home in time, we'll just have to celebrate all over again, won't we?
I was sort of amazed that she was willing to do what she did in this movie.
And she said, I just want to go for it, and I don't mind putting on the fake bottom. I don't care what I look like. I just want to go ahead and go out on a limb, take a risk with this, and just be the character from the book.
She was willing to do her own stunts, jumping through packages or pushing down service waiters, or that's all her. She's just gung-ho to always make sure that it feels like Nanny doing those pieces.
Everyone has their great story of when they met Julie Andrews, and that she was one of those people that you met and she really was a genuine and professional actress, and just all the things that you would think about. She's that and more.
She cared about everybody in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. After 2 or 3 long days, the first AD would make an announcement and say, folks, there is British tea and crumpets and pate, compliments of Julie Andrews for everybody off stage.
She'd kiss me every morning. She'd give me a little kiss every morning when she came on set, and she'd say, how are you today, love? And I'd walk around for like 20 minutes. Julie Andrews loves me, which was quite wonderful. It was really a pleasure working with her. I mean, she's an absolute pro in every sense of the word.
And action.
I don't think Mrs. Thornton ever had a better Christmas present. Well done, my love.
And certainly one of the biggest challenges of Eloise at Christmastime was a lot of the characters were given very brief descriptions in the book, and it was my job to say, okay, which of these do we actually make real characters?
It's actually quite interesting because when I got the scripts, the 2 scripts, they were written by 2 different people. They had developed their own casts of characters. And when I came on board, I said, wait a minute, there should be some continuity here. Let's try to create a flow from one to the next and create like a stable of characters. In the books, there are many, many room service attendants, so I think each writer came upon the idea of Bill. in their own way, and we just created continuity between the two.
Bill the waiter, she obviously has a lot of fun with him. It's maybe given a paragraph in the book. Bill becomes a very, very big character in this movie.
Hello, Bill. You know each other?
Once. A long time ago.
One of the reasons why I wanted to expand that character, because I love the idea that she has somebody at the hotel who she can hang out with and who isn't there to sort of shake his finger at her.
Thank you, Eloise. It's a lovely gift.
Meaning you'll take her?
Meaning I'll ask her.
I think one of my favorite scenes is when he comes to deliver breakfast and they go into that whole mock Errol Flynn sword fight scene, because it sort of tells you that there's a history between these characters, a playful history. He's capable of becoming 6.
This?
A shrink! I knew it.
On guard, villain. I completely go there with her in every sense of the word. We're swinging those swords all over the place. We're jumping off the furniture.
The sword fighting I had about 2-3 hour rehearsals.
We just go slowly and make sure we don't stab each other in the face or the gut or anything. But still, it's like, you got a 10-year-old and she's swinging this thing around your face and you're like, whoa, okay, calm down, it's okay.
Lick. Good, huh?
He was just so willing to collaborate and to do whatever is necessary to record it. And of course, he's got that Broadway voice.
No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos, together.
Gavin is, I think, originally from the stage. And this is his first film role. And he is naturally built.
What in God's name is going on here? Get back to work this instant.
Prunella Stickler. There isn't a lot in the script about her other than the fact that she is described as a tightly wound woman who's, by her own admission, a absolute perfectionist.
I want all the chairs sent back!
So this makes me, of course, a perfect foil for Eloise, because, you set up this character who's very proper and very precise, and then you have this little hellion running around.
Eloise, I am perfectly capable of handling this myself.
Of course you are, Prunella. Prunella is very capable.
When I came on board, the stories were pretty much set. And what was interesting about the Christmas story is when I read it, I said, there isn't enough Christmas. Let's now bring what's so wonderful about the book is its spirit. Let's bring that back into the story. I'll give you an example. The whole opening with the package was not in the original script, but it's the first page of the book. And I looked at that and said, this is a really interesting idea. How do we incorporate that into the film?
Kevin, from the start, had such definite ideas of how he wanted to stick to the book and be very loyal to Hilary Knight's drawings. And so he would take things from the book, specific things, and bring those into the movie, especially with Christmastime.
It was really important to me because they're as much an icon in the book, the pictures, as the writing. When you watch the movie, hopefully you say, hey, there's that illustration from page 42. I mean, Eloise, if you look in the book, she has a pink Christmas tree. We gave her a pink Christmas tree in the movie.
Sometimes I would see something in one of Hilary Knight's illustrations that gave me an idea, a picture of Eloise tying mistletoe on her dog or something like that. So I would put it in.
That's my paycheck. Bring that back. This is outrageous. Come back here. I mean it.
I think my favorite moment is when Eloise has the Christmas list. And part of that was when Kevin asked us to do this Christmas list, and I said, so, like, you want it, this long or this long? He said,
I want her to unclip the list, and it rolls down onto the floor and across the room. And she looked at me like, what? Well, Tamara looked at the book and said, oh, but it's only this short. How can we make it do that? And I said, Tamara, it's like a cartoon.
Look at the storyboards. It goes out the room. Now, I hadn't seen these storyboards, so I grabbed these storyboards that he hadn't given out to us and looked at the storyboards, and sure enough, he had this thing that goes right through the bedroom and living room.
Well, that's the idea. You unhook it, and it's absurdly long. It's as if you had 5, 10 of those lists, and she taped them all together. And every day she tapes on another piece of paper to make her list a little bit longer. And then it all sort of, okay, I understand what you're doing now, how you're putting this together.
So doing that scene and making that prop and the whole the game of it, I love that scene. I mean, there's too many scenes that I love, but that's one in particular.
Yeah, you can see so much matches between how he frames a scene or a shot exactly the same way it's framed in the illustration.
And if you compare this shot with the movie, you'll see the detail is accurate, even to the point of wreaths flying through the air and people walking with the same step. And every time I see this shot, you know, I feel like I'm in the book when I see the shot. I'm moved every single time I see it.
I was very familiar with New York at Christmastime, being from the East Coast, and it really defined Christmas for me.
I think more than any other city, New York captures Christmas in a way that is so magical.
New York is Christmas. The Christmas windows at Macy's, the giant Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center.
The decorations are just incredible, and the Plaza certainly makes a very big deal out of that.
Plaza really tries very hard to make the hotel look as if Christmas did back in the day. So we find that generations of families come back year after year, grandparents taking their grandkids for the first time, because there's such fond memories and such strong memories that are created when they take their kids to a special place at Christmas. Kids never forget that.
It was always a tradition in my family to go into New York and window shop and, you know, go to FAO Schwartz and go to the Plaza and just experience that, because it was truly so magical.
Is there anything more wonderful than Christmas in New York?
Oh, sure.
I wanted to make sure that the piece was sort of packed from beginning to end with Christmas reference, especially in the shopping sequence when they actually go out into the city.
When that buggy hit the street and was tying up traffic, I have never seen such a gracious, polite group of drivers and pedestrians as when they saw the charm of Julie Andrews and Sofia in that buggy. You could hear a pin drop.
We actually shot it the week after Christmas, and we asked all of the stores and the hotel, the Plaza Hotel where we shot, to keep their Christmas decorations up for us. I can remember walking down Broadway late at night one night, and it had just started to snow. And looking up between those buildings is that white, you know, I mean, it almost is like fairies are floating down on you, the way the snow falls between those buildings. And we tried to do that same thing with, you know, when we're looking down on Bill in the courtyard, walking away, or whenever it snowed, when she looked out the window for the first time and it's snowing, create that blue sort of fairyland. Also, what we tried to do is create a sense of Christmas in the 50s. It was a little bit more of a homemade feel to Christmas. So we actually went out of our way to find decorations that looked older, that didn't look like they were made today.
Of course, Nanny and me replay the whole story over hors d'oeuvres of holiday fudge.
Everything is decorated, down to Nanny's costumes. If you look at, she wears a little cravat. It was originally just a cravat, just a piece of cloth.
And then he came up with this wonderful idea of a Christmas tree, which I just love, that Nanny has a little, this is as good as Nanny gets, you know. And he said, I was thinking a plaid skirt, something rather festive. And I said, oh, that's wonderful. I had an aunt that every year trotted out her plaid skirt for Christmas. It's so perfect for Nanny.
Where'd she go?
Do you, Brooks, take Rachel to be your wedded wife?
Kevin had this vision for the wedding dress, that it would be this wedding dress, you know, with snowflakes on it.
In many ways, you know, the wedding is a celebration of Christmas. We've decorated it like Christmas. Anywhere we could, we were trying to find ways to make it feel Christmas. Eloise's costume, which is black in the first movie, becomes red in this movie. It's the same exact design, it's the same exact cut, but it's red.
And the partridge in a pear tree.
If the visual is one half of the Christmas spirit in this movie, probably the music is the other half. You know, you have to wrap the audience in Christmas, and with music, that's one way to do it.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say,
no, man.
But you can do the job when you're in town.
And it was just so sweet when they were doing songs like Winter Wonderland, you know, on the 12 Days of Christmas, you know, all those like hotel guests are coming out of the elevator, and there was something warm and charming about being on the set as those songs were performed and played back.
Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la.
I come from animation to begin with, so I am somewhat attuned to a certain kind of music.
In my first conversations with Kevin, we were talking about what direction to take with the music. Kevin said, well, you know, I sort of think of Eloise as being something like Bugs Bunny at the Plaza, and in terms of the spirit of it.
Bruce told me that most directors are afraid of that kind of music. It's called Mickey Mousing.
And I said, really? You really, I mean, seriously, because I'm happy to do that. I mean, I love that style.
That's what this is. This is a live-action cartoon in a sense. So she moves around very quickly. She never sits still. Let's follow her. Let's be interactive with her. So when she runs upstairs, the score runs up the stairs with her. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All that feeling of movement and excitement, which is really what she is. She's just this ball of explosive energy that you can never quite hold on to.
For the Christmas show, obviously it's about Christmas. So I was trying to think what would express a lot of those things, what would help me do it.
He said, why don't we do the Nutcracker Eloise style?
Occasionally I use a little phrase of deck the halls or something like that and throw it into a cue. Anything I could to make it a little more Christmas. Use a few bells and things that identify Christmas.
And I think he did a real bang-up job. I think they're wonderful. Actually, the first movie won an Emmy for its score, so it's been recognized.
Now, I was really happy to get the Emmy on this one. This is a real big deal. I really like this show. I mean, I really do like the show. I like the character. I like both the shows.
I love the movie, and I thought Kevin did a magnificent job. It felt to me like a real Christmas movie. Like all great Christmas movies from, you know, A Christmas Carol on, I was thrilled with it.
But looking back at them, I'm very, very proud of them in that we captured the book, in that Hilary Knight called and said, thank you so much for what you did with my child, so to speak.
Hopefully the Christmas movie will be seen every year by children, and for Hilary Knight and Kay Thompson, that legacy is going to continue down the line, and you know, introduce these kids to a whole new world, and this world of New York that maybe they aren't accustomed to.